Hello, not for this Sunday or next Sunday. This is not a Sunday homily for the next week or two. I'm in the process of getting together a book for homilies for the next church year, which will begin the 2nd December of this year, and then we'll go all the way through every Sunday for the year 2019. And this is one that I'm sort of doing for the book. So disregard this. And it deals with, well, 1 Samuel and David and Saul's relationship, and the gospel where Jesus says, love your enemies. And the church starts out with 1 Samuel, where David finds Saul sleeping in the barricade and has his lance there, and he could just run Saul through. But in the story, read it, he doesn't. He takes his lance and sticks it right by his head, I guess. And he tears a piece off of his garment to show he was there. And he's trying to prove to Saul that he's not there to kill him because he could have killed him. Well, in a raw form, he was loving his enemy, Saul, who was trying to kill his enemy, David. Love your enemies, Jesus says. So then in the gospel, Jesus starts to spell that out, that his message is love, 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 and forgive. And he teaches a perfect attitude of how you should act with your enemies. We'll read it in the gospel. Love your enemies. If your enemy curses you, don't curse your enemy back. If your enemy hates you, don't hate your enemy back. And then he keeps going farther, if he steals from you, give him something more. Oh, wow. The question is, why should I love my enemy? In a sense, my enemy can't do anything for me. Saul, what could he do for David? He was out to kill him. What was David's reaction? He showed him, I'm not out to kill you, when he had the chance. That's hard to understand. It's difficult to understand. I mean, you look at our country right now. Our country recently has been talking about, against, with Iran. Our country is talking about North Korea, and North Korea with us. And all of the powers of the world, some we like and some we don't like. Some are our friends and neighbors, and we act that way toward them because they act that way toward us. And some are threatening. We've been through, and probably by this time, we'll still be dealing with Russia, Iran, North Korea. Would ever stop? I guess that's what Jesus thought. Would ever stop? The only way it'll stop is if you don't answer violence with violence. Just because Saul wanted to kill David, should David kill him first? Just because Japan attacked us in the Second World War, does that give a bottom line good reason for nuclear warfare and kill the hundreds of thousands? Not in the mind of Jesus. Not in the mind of Jesus to anyone, let alone mass destruction, genocide. Love your enemies. Well, why? I can only think of, well, at least the reason why I think love your enemies. The bottom line, why I am called to do that, is because God loves everyone. God forgives everyone. God is merciful to everyone. And we read in the book of Genesis that we're created in the image and likeness of God. So if God loves everyone, one of those everyones is your enemy. God loves your enemy. And if you're going to live the way you've been created, and if you've been created in the image and likeness of God, well, then you're called to love your enemies. And Christ spells that out. In idealism, true. Christ is always speaking idealistically. Go sell all you have, give to the poor, come follow me. It's absolute, it's perfectionism. But that's what Christ says. Love your enemy. Forgive. Turn the other cheek. Well, why should I turn the other cheek? She had it coming. He deserves it. I got to defend myself. It doesn't. Christ didn't defend himself. Christ prayed in the Garden of Gethsemane. Christ walked into Jerusalem. Christ was nonviolent. And Christ loved all and died for all. I know it's ideal, but we're called to get as close to the ideal as we possibly can. And that means nation against the other nation. Love your enemy. That means fellow countrymen against fellow countrymen. Love your fellow countrymen. Husband and wife, brothers and sisters, Christians and not Christians. Love everybody. Even love your enemies. Think about that. I think we'll be challenged. I think we will be short. But the more we try, and the more energy we put into loving people, forgiving people, and not hating people, the closer we will be to living a life in the image and likeness of God. The more I will be at peace with myself, and I guarantee you, peace with the people around you. It applies in our little families. It even applies in world families. Love your neighbor as yourself. Love your enemy. Wow. Difficult, but true. Have a good day.